Let's go!
Hey guys, it's Retrohead here, and welcome back to another video. Today I have a really random car boot pickup that I'm going to show you. Just one pickup to show you today, but these are really cool. And this is the sort of pickup that to me just sums up the reason why I love retro games. But you're going to be very confused as to what they are at first. And that is some Marvel comics, as you can see here. Now I have never collected comics, and I'm not going to start collecting comics. I'm not really bothered about superheroes. Even when I was younger, like superheroes was something that never really did anything for me. So these are the first comics I've really ever picked up. But I wanted to show you these because inside these is some very, very cool old video game advertising. And I know this is a very, very geeky video, but this is just something that I really wanted to show you because I thought that these were just quite cool to look at. But when I looked inside, there is some really good stuff in these. I've always been really big into picking up like video game magazines and old like catalogues and stuff like that. I have loads in the collection. So when I flicked through these comic books just expecting to see like superhero comics and stuff like that, and I saw some of these really cool video game stuff, I was really pleased with them. And the stack of 5 comics cost just £1, so only 20 pence an issue. So I was really pleased to find these. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and please subscribe to our channel Retrohead. Without further ado, let's have a look at these comics. So I'm going to be flicking through the comic, but also showing you like as I go along. So the first one is going to be Captin America Streets of Poison. Now, I know nothing about comics. Obviously, Captain America is obviously a superhero. I don't know if the Streets of Poison is like a series of comics. If you know, let me know in the comments. But as you can see, this would have cost 60 pence at one point in time. I'm not sure about the date on this. I think it's around 1990, 1991 sort of time. But then if we start flicking through, I'm going to be flicking through and putting some footage in over the top. At the start here, as you can see, this very cool Mission Impossible advertisement for the NES, which is actually the first one that I saw. And I thought, oh, I wonder if there's more video game stuff in here, and there definitely is. Which, as you can see here, there is this Wrath of the Black Manta NES game advertisement, which is quite cool. As seen in the Nintendo World Championships as well, which is quite a nice little touch there. Really like that advertisement. But there are some much cooler ones moving on. But even though I'm not into comics, these comics artworks are so nice. And I will actually be reading some of these, because like I said, I've never picked up comics before. So yeah, it is just nice to pick up some comics, which is just something that I've not ever bought before. See here, this is one of the best advertisements in any of these comics. And that is this Bonk's Adventure comic strip here. Now if you didn't know, Bonk's Adventure is actually a TurboGrafx game. And it was released as a TurboGrafx 16, and it wasn't overly well received and didn't sell very many copies. But this comic strip was used to advertise the game. Like, how cool is that? A comic strip, the whole thing is just used to advertise one video game. As you can see here at the end, it says TurboGrafx 16, which I think is just so cool. And if you read the comic, it's actually quite funny as well. So that is probably one of the best bits of advertising in this magazine. And I'm not going to do this because I don't really agree with like ripping up old comics, or like people do it with annuals and stuff. I don't really like that. But if you framed that, that would look so cool. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it inside. So you can see, moving on, some more comics here. Again, know nothing about this, so I can't say overly much about it. Stan Lee Battlestar, no idea what that is. Grave Concerns. And then moving on over here, this is a very cool one. Advertising for 2 Game Boy games. And that Spider-Man advertisement is so cool. I really like that. As you can see from my collection behind me, I love the original Game Boy as well. So yeah, that was another really cool one to see in there. But moving on, we have some more advertisements. We have some basketball card advertisements, which is really cool. Again, sports cards is something that I've never picked up. I'm not really into that sort of thing. And then right at the end, as you can see, this really cool Total Recall one for the NES as well. So this is just very nice. And on the back of this is a Magic Stones advertisement. I think that's like some sort of board game. Don't know overly much about that. But this Captain America comic, to me on the front, looks quite boring. I'm not into comics, as I said. But when you go inside this, there is some really cool stuff inside. And the next comic, as you can see here, is also another Captain America Streets of Poison one. This one I think was a bit of a later release than the last one, because it's UK 60 pence and the other one was 50p. So I presume that the price went up a little bit as they go on. But let's have a little look through here and see what we can see through this one. So as you can see, the front cover is really nice. Do like the artwork on that. So you can see it would have cost $1 US and $1.25 Canadian. Moving on inside, the first advertisement we have is Viper on the NES. But yeah, I've never actually played Viper on the NES, but it looks very cool. I'll put a little bit of footage in now because I searched up some footage for this video and it looks like a really fun game. And then moving along through, more comic strips again. I just can't say overly much about these because I just don't know. Another Wrath of Black Manta advertisement there, which is cool. And here we have one here, Narc on the NES. Really good looking game, love the artwork on that. And made by Acclaim, so it's probably going to be quite a decent game. So that was another cool one to see inside. And then moving on, more comic strips and more football card advertisements. Rookie of the Year 1990, so it probably was the same year as the last one, but the price probably just went up a little bit. Next up we have Your Video Game Headquarters, and this is a really cool page. As you can see here, there's a Sega Genesis on the left and also a NES on the right. Obviously the price difference is quite big because the NES was quite old at the time and the Genesis was quite new. But we have some really good games on here. Shinobi on the Genesis, or Mega Drive obviously, great game. Mario 3, Adventure of Link, Punch Out, really good stuff there. Really nice page that is. I have some more comics here. Again, can't say too much about these. More Stan Lee Battlestar comics. You can let me know more stuff in the comments about comics because I really have no idea. But yeah, not as much advertising in this one, but still a very cool one. As you can see at the end here, more of a Konami advertisement. Still some really good artwork on there. And also on the back is this really random Ravenloft Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons, but still a very cool comic here. And this artwork on the front of this one I think is really cool. And for the age and the price that I paid, in very good condition. And the final three comics I have here are all of the same sort of series. So that is Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers. Now, I know about the Avengers, but I don't know if it's Earth's Mightiest Heroes is like their catchphrase like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or Fallout is like the comic series. I really don't know. I know embarrassingly little about comics and superheroes. But this was £1.50 US, 205 Canadian. And I don't know, but I don't think this ever got released in this country. I think that this has been imported or like bought on holiday by someone at some point. But only because it doesn't have a British price on the front. There's no pound price. So I don't know if that's true or not. It's just me like speculating about it. 1994 comic it says on the back. But yeah, I don't know if it's actually not released here, but if it wasn't released here, that sort of makes it cooler in my opinion. Not in quite as good condition. I might have to staple this because as you can see, the front cover is literally coming off. But let's have another look inside this one because this one looks pretty cool. So as you can see, the first advertisement was one that I really like the look of. And that is the Incredible Hulk on the Super Nintendo, Genesis and also the Game Gear, which does look very cool. I've never played that game. I think it's quite a pricey game as well. But moving on, again, starting off with the comic strips, I'm going to flick through this one a bit quick because I don't really know what to say about that. I do really like these cereal advertisements you get in these old magazines. Just can't get that crunch out of your head. Cap'n Crunch, major crunch effect. Like, that is the most 90s way to describe cereal I've ever seen. Then moving along, we have this, and this is quite nice, I like this. Would you rather meet Joe Montana or win $10,000? We couldn't decide either. And you could actually meet Joe Montana and also win prizes if you want. Like you could win the 35th prize, was a Sega Genesis, which is nice. And also the 6th prize, with 20 of these to give out, Sega's 1995 NFL video game, which is probably worth absolutely nothing now, but still pretty cool back in the day. And then moving on, some more comics here. Again, going to flick through these quite quickly so we get some more video games. This one's quite cool. As you can see here on the bottom left, they're advertising some beefaroni, bit random, and also dinosaurs, what is that, X-Men, pasta shapes with meatballs and tomato sauce. So yeah, that sounds very tasty with dinosaurs on the front. Then moving along here, a few more comics, and this is one of the best pages in these comics, I think. Really like this. I'm probably never going to play this game because I'm not overly fussed about the game and it is an expensive game. But check out this Maximum Carnage double spread here, as you can see. Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage coming soon on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Paint the town red. Like, how cool is that? I absolutely love that page. That red is so nice. Really like that. I could not believe when I opened the page and that was there. It was really cool. Limited edition red cartridge while supplies last. And there's some screenshots of the game. It does look pretty good. I'll put a little bit of gameplay in now of that game because it looks really good. And again, if you've played it, let me know what it's like. As you can see, no more video games in this one, just a few more comics to finish off, but a very, very cool comic there. That Maximum Carnage double spread page was very cool in my opinion. Next up, we have another Avengers one here, and that is the Avengers The Truth Revealed. This one again doesn't have a British price, which does make me think that it wasn't released over here, which again, if I am right about that, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. That would be pretty cool if it wasn't released over here, a bit rarer maybe. I presume they're worth overly much, but I really like them. So as you can see, starting off here, we have this Three Ninjas Kickback, which by the looks of it looks like an old film. Never seen or heard anything about that before. If you have, let me know. But this page is quite cool. You have to turn it portrait to read it. I'm not going to read it because I don't know anything about it. And as you can see, just can't get that crunch out of your head. Another serial advertisement. Some more comics moving along. Going to try not to be too long on this one because I've already kept you for a little while. Dave's Comics, missed an issue. Don't travel miles to find what you need. We'll send the comics right to your house. There you go. Dave's Comics has got you covered, people. If you need a comic, call Dave. Lots more comics, as you can see. I don't think there was overly much video games in this one compared to some of the others. But this page is absolutely awesome. Now, I'm not hugely into the Turtles, but I've heard really good things about Turtles Tournament Fighters. And check out this double page here. Go ahead and pick a fight. But be prepared because Tournament Fighters for Super NES and Sega Genesis and NES puts a whole new face on fighting games. It's intense one-on-one fighting that has every savage street-hardened warrior drooling with anticipation. So this looks really cool. Again, I don't know if I'll ever play this game, so I'm not huge on the Turtles, and it's quite a pricey one. I could probably emulate it, to be fair. If I was going to play this, I would probably emulate this one, but this page is so, so nice. Like, check out that artwork. So that was a really cool one to see. Really pleased with that in there. And again, more comics. I'm not going to say too much, but this next page is cool. I'll say a bit more about this one. This Castlevania for Sega Genesis is very, very nice. I like the Konami branding on this one. I actually haven't played a Castlevania game ever. And I would like to play one at some point, but I've never actually played one. So yeah, I would have to play a Castlevania at some point, because it does look great things. I've heard great things from other people as well. As you can see, finishing off this comic, we have some Razzles here. What is this stuff? A candy? A gum? It's both. Razzles comes in funky fruit flavours, and you have the chance to pick up some mega prizes. Check out the specially marked Razzles packs for details on how to enter. But yeah, not too many video games in this one, but that Turtles page is very cool. And then finally, the last comic I have here is another Avengers one, and that is When a Hero Falls. And this is in such good condition, and I'm going to show you the back of this now, because this is very cool. Check out this Mortal Kombat 2 advertisement. I think that's just so, so cool. Super Nintendo, Sega Mega Drive, Game Boy and Game Gear. Very, very nice. I absolutely love the artwork on that as well. But let's get into the actual comic, as you can see here. This first page has got this little bit of paper. I'm not actually sure what that's for. It looks like something that you'd like rip out and send off for something. But it's not actually got any writing on it to fill in. So a little bit confused about that. But as you can see here, Stopping Evil Stone Cold, coming October 24th, Gargoyles. Check out local television listings for time and channel. Then there's some more comics as we get started here. Again, I'm going to try not to be too long on this one. We have another Hulk advertisement, which is just the same one as we've already seen. So I'm going to sort of skip past that. Another one where you can win $10,000, which is quite cool. As you can see, the one that I'm going to mention is that 6th prize, Acclaim's NBA Jam video game for either Genesis or Super Nintendo, which is very nice. And that jacket is very cool as well, just noticed that. 5th prize is Skater's official NBA jacket. I like that a lot. That's really nice. And again, moving on, more comics. I'm going to be nice and quick on this one. But then this next one is cool. It's Wrestling Gone Insane. Absolutely love the Capcom branding on that one. Again, let's carry on moving on. Lots more comics. Love the colours on this one as well. This comic has got some really, really good colours in it, I've got to say. Some fizzy drink advertisements there, which is quite cool. Again, really good colours. X-Men, personal pizza. That's very random, but very 90s as well, I've got to say. X-Men pizza, there you go. And then finally, as you can see in the end here, little cookies you can't resist. Cookie Crisp chocolate chip. Look out for Marvel Comics X-Men Feel Ultra trading card inside. And that is something that you do not get in cereal anymore. Like, you never get toys or trading cards in cereal anymore, which is probably better for the environment, but also a little bit of a shame. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I know this was a bit of a different one for me, a little bit random, but also one that I thought was pretty cool. Again, I bought those comics just to sort of have a flick through because I'd never bought a comic before. And 5 for £1 is an absolute bargain, especially for some old ones. But these look like really, really good comics and ones I'm really looking forward to looking into a bit more. If you know any information about them that I don't know, please do let me know down in the comments. And if you stuck this far, please consider leaving a like on the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye!